You know, it's not too often I'm stumped by a question from one of our listeners in relation to Boston Bruins trivia. Now, someone asked me a while ago, he said, name me the brother of a very famous player that only played one playoff game with Boston in the 1970s, but got his name in the Stanley Cup. Well, I thought to myself, was it going to be maybe a Cashman or a Hodge or whatever? It's the great player, the brother of the excellent Ron Schock, Danny Schock. Now, Danny Schock came to major prominence by playing in the WCJHL with the Estevan Bruins in 1968. Now, he was drafted round 1, 12th overall in the 1966-68 NHL Amateur Draft. 67 Estefan, he had 58 points in 55 games when he won the CMJHL, and of course 68 in the WCJHL, he had 63 points in 52 games. Now the left winger with the left-handed shot, 5'11", 180, also played right wing. Now Estevan was an affiliate squad for the Bruins, and what happened with Estevan players, they weren't officially eligible for the NHL unless they were drafted. Now, he played for Estevan in the 68 Memorial Cup Tournament Finals, and he also played for the infamous St. Thomas of the OHA Junior B League in 66, where a lot of future Bruins had got their seasoning. Now, he signed his first contract in 1968, and again, debuted in the Stanley Cup playoffs in 1970 in a game against New York. Now, he had a short career in the NHL after being traded by Boston to Philadelphia in exchange for future considerations. Now, this involved Boston's trade of Rick McLeish to the Flyers for Mike Walton as part of a three-way trade with Toronto on January 31st, 71. Schock was sent to Philadelphia on the condition that the Flyers would get Walton from Toronto and then trade him to Boston in a deal involving McLeish. Now, in 1968-69, he played on the Oklahoma City team that won the CHL regular season crown. Now, after the trade that brought him to the Flyers, he made his NHL regular season debut in Boston's before the trade, in Boston's November 21st, 1970 game at Philadelphia. He recorded his first NHL point and assist in his first game with Philadelphia 2 days after he was traded in a game in Minnesota. Scored his only NHL goal for Philadelphia on April 1st, 71 at St. Louis. The goal at 12 minutes of the third period gave the Flyers a 1-1 tie on the road. Now, he had good success in the minors. He served as Richmond Robins captain in 72-73 and led them with 48 goals that season. Now, the big problem with his early part of his career was a major concussion he suffered while playing with Salt Lake in the March 1st, 1970 game at Seattle. He was forced into retirement due to a series of injuries suffered in the NHL from 1973 again to 75. Now, he was also selected by the New England Whalers in the 72 WHA draft, which was their first ever in February 1972. He also missed part of the 74-75 season, holding out for a better contract from Philadelphia. Now, he's called up to Boston occurred when the team expanded the roster by one player for the playoffs, and he was third in the AHL with a career-high 48 goals for Richmond in 73. Now, again, because he appeared in his only career playoff game with Boston, he got his name on the Stanley Cup as a result. He also spent the summer of 73 in Richmond selling advertising and season tickets for the team. Now, he moved to center for the Flyers for much of his 14 games with them in 71, and he came out of retirement to play one game for Richmond of the SHL during the 77 season. Now, his minor hockey numbers, not too bad. Oklahoma City had 20 goals in 69, 20 goals in 55 games with Salt Lake in 1970. He played with the Quebec Aces in 71 for 7 games, and the Flyers for 14. and the Bruins that year for 6. He played a number of seasons with Richmond with 24, 48, and 23 goals. In 75, he split time with Greensboro, Syracuse, and Syracuse of the SHL, NEHL, and AHL respectively, and then with the Richmond Wildcats of the SHL in 77. So final NHL totals, 20 points in a regular season, 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points, and 1 playoff game. Now, 5'11 and 180. Unfortunately, when he moved to Virginia in retirement, he passed away at the young age of 68 on June 15th, 2017, leaving the mourn a very, very close family. His brother Ron and everybody else very dedicated to hockey. And Danny can always say, for his family, his name's on the Stanley Cup and his recognition of his dedicated play, even though he only played a decade in minor and major pro. He really, really put up some nice numbers. Look at that 73 season with Richmond, almost 50 goals combined in playoffs and regular season. So that's the story of the draft year of Danny Schock, and his applied success in the WCJHL, CHL, WHL, NHL, AHL, SHL, and NEAHL. Very, very talented teams all. And again, just to recap, Estevan, Oklahoma City, Salt Lake, Boston, Quebec, Philly, Richmond, Greensboro, Syracuse Blazers, Syracuse Eagles, and of course the great Richmond Wildcats. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your stick in the ice. Bye.